Welcome in. It's the Raw after Survivor Series. And kicking things off here, the man who, along with his bloodline, picked up a huge victory at Survivor Series in the men's War Games match and earned for the WWE the final 4 spots in both the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches, the main event spot of Night 2 of WrestleMania, and the first pick in the next draft, giving WWE a huge advantage in the short term, 3 to 6 months, but also in the long term, in the next year, maybe even longer, depending on how things shape up with the draft. The man who calls himself the People's Champ. He's the High Chief of the Bloodline and the WWE World Champion. And now, the self-proclaimed final boss of wrestling, The Rock. The Rock says everybody back in that WWE locker room better acknowledge him for everything he has just done for them. He says there's 2 people that disappointed him. Seth freaking Rollins and Ivy Nile. They let down their final boss, but he'll deal with them accordingly. One person he was impressed with at Survivor Series was Braun Breaker, and he's got a special gift for the badass that he's going to deliver in the next couple of weeks. Can't think that we were going to get a humble message from The Rock, but it is on point for what we've come to expect from the quote-unquote great one. Next, we've got tag team action. Los Lotharios, Angel and Berto. They will be taking on the Trick Mello Gang, team of Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. As they make their way to the ring, want to give a special shout out to Squared Circle. They've been leaving some messages in some of our more recent videos. Want to thank them for that. And if you would like to get shouted out in a future video, all you got to do is leave a comment in a video just like this one. And who knows, maybe you will hear your name shouted out in a future video. Trick with the early advantage, but now it swung Berto's direction. He makes the tag. Angel goes for the cover. Doesn't even get a 1. We've not seen much of Los Lotharios as of late. Trick and Mello, we saw them. They had a lot of success heading into SummerSlam, where they would make it to the finals of the tournament to fill the vacant WWE Tag Team titles. But then we've also seen each of them have some success in singles action. And now they are here this week on Raw, teaming up again. We do have new tag team champions, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. I don't know that there are many tag teams on the WWE roster that are really in a hurry to try to get either of those 2 in the ring. Try to take those tag championships off of them. Trick with the cover. Berto in to stop the count. Now Mello hooks the leg. Only gets a 2. Angel with the cover. Mello reaching out for that bottom rope, but the ref did not see it. And the crowd letting her know. But the referee's decision is final. She did not see Carmelo Hayes reach out and grab that bottom rope.
Making his way to the ring from
Next, we're going to see the bruiserweight, Pete Dunne.
205 pounds.
He takes on the ring general, Gunther.
And his opponent,
Now, Gunther out here on his own. We heard that
Vienna, Austria, weighing in at
Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci
50 pounds.
were having some travel issues and have yet to arrive at the arena here tonight. And after what CM Punk did to Kaiser last week on SmackDown, you got to think that Gunther probably a little uneasy. You kind of see that here with him not really starting off with the dominant Gunther performance that we've come to expect. But he kind of brought this on himself. We saw a few weeks back the match against CM Punk. He and Ludwig Kaiser took advantage of the referee being down. Used a chair to get the win, and if that wasn't bad enough, then after the match, used the chair some more, did more damage to CM Punk, and now Punk is out for his pound of flesh. You can tell by the way Gunther's performing here, like, that is in the back of his mind. This could be a great opportunity for someone like Pete Dunne to get a huge victory against somebody like Gunther. Gunther able to get his shoulder up there. But Dunne can't let up. Pete's got to keep his foot on the gas. Elbow from Gunther. He's starting to fight back here. But give credit where it's due. Gunther not 100% focused on this match. He's got his mind elsewhere. And the Bruiserweight has been able to take advantage of that. Now Gunther stretching Pete Dunne out, who has no choice but to fall to the floor. Gunther sends Dunne back in. Gunther with a powerbomb into a cover. All that weight down on Pete Dunne. And that will do it. Gunther victorious. And here comes CM Punk with a kendo stick as he lays out the ring general. I think Gunther and Imperium might regret what they did to CM Punk. Now it's time for the main event. It's going to be Seth freaking Rollins with one of his Intercontinental Champion Open challenges. Rollins, one of the only people in WWE that has not been afraid to speak up about what The Rock's been doing. And he says, Rock, if you've got a problem with me, you can always come down here and deal with me face to face, just like the next person who's going to be lucky enough to get a shot at my Intercontinental Championship here tonight. Who's it going to be? Who is going? Oh my God. The chairman, Shawn Spears, making his Raw debut, making his WWE debut, and making his Open Mic Universe debut. And what a hell of a way to make your debut. then with a shot for the Intercontinental Championship in your first match out. One thing we could say about Rollins, he has been the consummate fighting champion since becoming Intercontinental Champion back at SummerSlam. And I think that these open challenges have really kind of made him a stronger champion. Because again, you don't know who you're going to be facing. You have to really adapt because you don't really know what style they're bringing in. You can't really study any tape going into the match. But he has been a dominant champion. And I think these open challenges have really kind of fine-tuned Seth freaking Rollins in a way. And Spears, not wasting any time, knowing the huge opportunity that he has here tonight. Hey, if Shawn Spears could walk out of here with the Intercontinental Championship, it wouldn't be the first time in our universe that somebody has won a championship in their debut. We saw it back during the Great American Bash Tour. Motor City Machine Guns made their debut, defeated the Street Profits to become WCW Tag Team Champions on their first night in. Rollins kind of has been a little shell-shocked here. Hits the pedigree on Shawn Spears, kind of catches him. Slowly makes his way over and hooks the leg. And it didn't look too good at the beginning, but Seth freaking Rollins somehow able to walk out of here, still your Intercontinental Champion. Jacob Fatu from behind. And I guess maybe this is what The Rock was talking about. As he sends his Samoan werewolf out here to clearly send a message to Seth freaking Rollins. Rollins, who was the last one eliminated in the traditional Survivor Series elimination tag match that WWE lost. And Jacob with a chair. And again hits Rollins with the chair. Now Seth trying like hell to fight back. But Jacob cuts it off. And Fatu continuing to beat the hell out of Seth freaking Rollins here. Where's he going? Going up top. Headbutt off the top rope. And now Fatu delivering some headbutts to the head of Seth freaking Rollins. Message delivered by Jacob Fatu at the order of the High Chief and final boss, The Rock. After the crushing defeat at Survivor Series, WCW is back on the air with Nitro. I guess we can be thankful that The Rock didn't try to pull some strings and have Nitro replaced with a replay of the Tooth Fairy. But for the men and women in the WCW locker room, there's no time to feel sorry for yourselves, as the road to Starrcade begins tonight. It begins with our opening match. The three ladies who teamed with Captain Raquel Rodriguez in the women's War Games match representing WCW, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Charlotte Flair will meet here in our opening match, where the winner will go on to get a shot at Raquel Rodriguez in the WCW Women's Championship at Starrcade. Who's going to get that title shot? Is it going to be Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, or Charlotte Flair? All three of these women, former women's champions. Bianca, a former WWE Women's Champion. Charlotte, a former multiple-time WCW Women's Champion. And Rhea Ripley, also a multiple-time WCW Women's Champion. In fact, Rhea and Charlotte had a pretty good rivalry over that WCW Women's Championship roughly about a year ago. It was around Starrcade, between Starrcade and the Royal Rumble. Those two did battle over that championship. Now, although they were all teammates in the Women's War Games match, these four ladies, along with Raquel, not the closest of friends, not allies by any means, but they were able to put their differences aside, come together, and defeat the team from WWE to win the Women's War Games match, and did it in a very convincing fashion. As they defeated Captain Ivy Nile, Asuka, Shayna Baszler, and Becky Lynch. But now the time for peace is over. The time for a truce is over. Now it's time to focus on your individual goals, individual championship aspirations. And that means that target is back on Raquel Rodriguez. And again, Raquel knows this, as any of these three ladies are more than capable of walking out of Starrcade the new WCW Women's Champion. Bianca with the most recent history with Raquel. Bianca this past year's Miss Money in the Bank. She would cash in that briefcase at SummerSlam. Her cash-in, though, was pretty unconventional. She didn't look to cash in when Raquel was coming out of a tough match or cashing in the middle of a match. She announced her cash-in the week leading into SummerSlam, which kind of takes that advantage that the Money in the Bank briefcase holder has. Although she had a great performance at SummerSlam, Raquel was successful in her defense. She remained the WCW Women's Champion. Rhea now taking Charlotte to the corner. The EST trying to get back to her feet. And Bianca coming up from behind with a suplex to Rhea Ripley. Charlotte out on that top turnbuckle. And Bianca Belair picks up the win. And she will head to Starrcade. She will meet Raquel Rodriguez for the WCW Women's Championship. Next, we've got Cruiserweight action. J.D. McDonough. He will be in action against Dragon Lee. You know, both of these guys would love to have a great showing here tonight. Maybe that would open up a door somewhere down the line for an opportunity at the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. And J.D. McDonough, right from the start, not wasting any time. Looking for a quick submission here, but Dragon Lee able to get out. Neither of these guys have held the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. Dragon Lee, former WCW television champion. He's held that title for 11 months before eventually losing it last year at WrestleMania 2 against Shinsuke Nakamura. Suplex from JD. Again, JD with the camel clutch. And again, Dragon Lee able to escape. Lee lowers the knee pad. Knee to the face of JD McDonough. And now dragging him away from the ropes. Smart move by Dragon Lee. Goes for the cover. And Dragon Lee is your winner. Not a bad job by JD McDonough, but it is Dragon Lee who walks out with the win. Up next, we've got another match with Starrcade implications. We've got a tag team table match between the War Raiders and AOP. Now, the WCW Tag Team Champions, the Dudleys, have set up an interesting challenge for Starrcade. If we remember back to Fall Brawl, what brought them back was the TLC tag match between the champions, the Motor City Machine Guns, and the New Day. They would go on to Halloween Havoc and defeat the New Day to become the new tag team champions. For Starrcade, they want to do the TLC tag match the way it was originally intended to be, with 3 teams. So over the next 2 weeks, we will see 4 tag team table matches between 8 tag teams here in WCW. The winners of those 4 table matches will then meet in 2 ladder matches on the final week, the go-home week heading into Starrcade. And the winners of those 2 tag team ladder matches will go on to Starrcade and meet the Dudleys in a 3-team TLC tag match for the WCW tag team titles. Ivar picking up some speed. Splash in the corner. Eric rolled back in. And now Ivar in some trouble. Eric working his way back up to his feet. Now Paul Ellering doing a great job distracting Eric. And it pays off. Occam getting the table set back up again. Now he's choking out Ivar. Ivar needing some help to try to get back to his feet. Sent flying back into the ring. Occam sending Ivar up and over the top rope. Razor suplexes Eric through the table, and the Authors of Pain moving on as they defeat the War Raiders here on Nitro. Now it's time to hear from the captain of Team WCW, the WCW World Heavyweight Champion, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. And not that I'm surprised that we're going to hear from the champ. Cody is not somebody, even in defeat, that is going to hide or avoid responsibility in any way. And again, it was a great match. The Rock and his bloodline just a little bit better inside of War Games. They pick up the win. They get for their brand, they get for the WWE the final 4 spots in both the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches. WWE will get to main event night 2 of WrestleMania. And then in our next draft, WWE will have the first pick, all from winning Survivor Series. Cody says that while he's disappointed in the outcome from Survivor Series, he knows he picked the right guys to be by his side. And he says that while he knows The Rock is in Hollywood and they love a good reboot and a remake, he'll be damned if we're going back to 2001. Here comes one of his teammates now, the phenomenal AJ Styles. AJ says he held up his side of the bargain. He showed up and teamed with Team WCW. And now he wants to know if Cody is really a man of his word. And does he truly want to make things right? And if so, is he going to get his no disqualification match at Starrcade for the WCW World Title? Cody says, see you at Starrcade. Looks like we got our main event. Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles, no disqualification for the WCW World Title at Starrcade. Welcome to WCW Thunder. Kicking things off this week, the Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre. McIntyre, he's got to be riding high off his victory at Survivor Series. His team, consisting of Shinsuke Nakamura, Dirty Dom, and Despicable Ray, defeating the team from WWE, which consisted of Randy Orton, Sheamus, WWE Intercontinental Champion Seth freaking Rollins, and WWE United States Champion Braun Strowman. And the team from WCW was victorious in that traditional Survivor Series elimination tag match. And here tonight, McIntyre will square off against Obafemi. And it's not surprising that McIntyre was on the winning team. He's had a hell of a year here in WCW. He was the WCW United States Champion for 10 months before losing that title back at Halloween Havoc to main event Jey Uso. Now that Survivor Series is in the rear view, you know McIntyre has got his sights set on what's next for him. And you got to think the Royal Rumble at the forefront of his mind to maybe position himself back in the main event picture. Like I said, he's had a hell of a year. He's been maybe, if not the MVP of WCW, one of them over the last year. Only a 2 count there on Femi. Goes to the corner. Hits the Claymore. And that could be it. Drew McIntyre with the victory as he defeats Obafemi here in our opening match on Thunder. Next, we're going to see Sonya Deville, former Miss Money in the Bank, former one-time WCW Women's Champion. She'll be taking on Michin. As these two ladies get ready to tee it off, I want to give a shout out to Terrence from Terrence Too Nice TV. Former two-time WCW guest general manager in our universe. He's made the selections for WCW the last two drafts. And he is in on every video we do when they premiere. And he's always got a comment during the premiere time, so I always appreciate the fact that he's here for that. So let's give him a shout out. If you would like to be shouted out in a future video, then leave a comment. And who knows, maybe next time I'll be shouting out you. Michin with a knee to the face. While we are just a few days removed from Survivor Series, the train keeps rolling, and the Starrcade card starting to come into focus. We saw earlier this week on Nitro, it looks like we've got a main event. We're going to get that rematch between Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles for the WCW World title. This time, it will be a no disqualification match after their controversial match back at Halloween Havoc. No LA Knight this time as guest referee, so maybe, in AJ's mind, he'll get a fair shot at Cody Rhodes. Sonya with the victory here. She defeats Michin. Next, we've got another of our first round tag team tournament matches. And this one, like all the first round matches, they are tables matches. What we'll have between this week's shows and next week's shows, 4 first round tables matches. And then the winning teams from those 4 matches will meet in 2 ladder matches. And the winners coming out of the ladder matches will join the Dudleys at Starrcade as they put the WCW tag team titles on the line in a tag team TLC match. Otis sent into the corner. On Nitro, AOP defeated the War Raiders to move on to round 2. Now Alpha Academy and Street Profits looking to join them in the second round. The Profits are former WCW Tag Team Champions, also former WWE Tag Team Champions. Alpha Academy, in our universe, still fairly new as a team. We just saw Tozawa make his debut a couple months back. But he has been in training, so this could be a great opportunity for Alpha Academy to put their name on the tag team map. Montez Ford slams Tozawa on top of the table. But you got to put your opponent through the table, and it did not break. So this match will continue. Dawkins sending Otis into the table. Gets him up in a suplex. And that time the table does break. The second time was the charm for the Street Profits as they move on to the second round.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring
Next, it's our main event.
The LWO from San Diego,
Dirty Dom,
weighing in at 200 pounds.
as we mentioned earlier, a part of the team with Drew McIntyre that was victorious at Survivor Series in his elimination tag match. Has been running his mouth all week on social media, blaming the men's War Games match loss on R-Truth. So Truth went to WCW management and he said he didn't care. Whether it was Tom or it was Nick Mysterio, he would take on either one. It's neither Tom nor Nick, but Dominic that he gets this week. Look, let's keep it real. The loss doesn't fall on Truth's shoulders. I know there's been a lot of discussion, a lot of hot takes on whether Cody adding Truth to the team was a wise move. But he proved himself. Picked up wins against Santos Escobar, and Grayson Waller, and Drew McIntyre. Truth now, I think, maybe making a mistake. He should have maybe let Dom get counted out here, but goes out to bring him back into the ring. But he also proved to have Jay's back last week on SmackDown, where they would fire the first shot against WWE when they attacked Jacob Fatu out in the parking lot ahead of Survivor Series, ahead of War Games. Again, maybe not a conventional choice, but when you're in a fight, you're in a war, and you're in that foxhole, you want to know that the guy next to you is somebody that has your back. And that's exactly what you get with R-Truth. Got to think Truth maybe regretting his decision to bail Dom out and not take the count-out victory. Dom grabbing the leg. And Dirty Dom with the win. And now look, his despicable dad sliding a chair into the ring. The LWO not happy with just a win. They're looking to do more damage, but here comes main event Jey Uso with the much needed save. And just like Truth had Jay's back, Jey returning the favor here on Thunder. We're closing out the first week of December here on SmackDown. Welcome in, everybody. We're going to kick things off with tag team action. Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Priest, who's coming off a big win at Survivor Series as his team of Braun Breaker, Gunther, and Karrion Kross defeated the team from WCW, Santos Escobar, Big Bronson Reed, Omos, and Ilya Dragunov in a traditional Survivor Series elimination tag match. He gets back to business tonight against Fraxium, Nathan Frazier, and Axiom. And it looks like Finn Balor wants to start this one off. He says, all right, go for it. And Axiom, right off the bat, taking it to Finn Balor. And there's a lot of praise right now. Team WWE, the brand of WWE, riding high off of their victory at Survivor Series. And that's kind of put Damian Priest maybe on a little bit of a higher level. And maybe that's not sitting too well with Finn. And he feels he's got something to prove here, but Right now, he's pretty much just been a practice dummy for Fraxium. Axiom goes up top, and Balor able to make the tag. Here comes Damian Priest. But Axiom now, nope. Slammed down by Priest. And now Priest dropping the shoulder straps. Looks like he might be big clothesline from Damian Priest. Goes for the cover. Frazier in to stop the count. Axiom going up. And again, another cover by Priest. And again, Frazier able to save the day. Priest with a cover once again. And that's going to do it. Judgment Day, your winners. And it looks like maybe Finn a little upset with Damian that he didn't get tagged back in. And Priest shoves Balor. Balor bailing on the post-match celebration as Damian Priest will celebrate alone in the ring. A little bit of dissension possibly going on with Judgment Day. Next, we're going to see Tyler Bate. He's going to be taking on the man that made his debut this past week on Raw, the chairman, Shawn Spears. Spears, who made his debut on Raw, answering the open challenge, the Intercontinental Open Challenge of Seth freaking Rollins for his Intercontinental Championship. Spears looked great in that match, and we almost ended the night with a new Intercontinental Champion. But Seth freaking Rollins, being Seth freaking Rollins, he was able to survive and catch Spears with a pedigree to put him away and remain Intercontinental Champion. And so far, again, in this one, Spears in control of this match here against Tyler Bate. And that could be trouble for the WWE rosters. Here it is again. Shawn Spears able to get the count of 3. And the WWE roster may need to be on notice. The chairman has arrived. He's looking pretty damn impressive. Next up, we've got Ivy Nile making her way out to the ring. Nile, the current WWE Women's Champion and the captain of the Women's War Games team. Nile says that Team WWE would have won War Games had it not been for Becky Lynch, who cost their team. Becky says she just wants to remind Ivy that it was the dope that she selected first to be on her team, Shayna Baszler, that actually got counted for the pinfall by Charlotte Flair. Ivy says that their team was cohesive and they were a unit, and Becky threw off all the chemistry. Becky says if you've got a problem with it, we can settle it right here on SmackDown. So here we go. Ivy Nile, Becky Lynch. Gonna have a little impromptu match here on SmackDown, and Becky, former multiple-time champion in the past in our open mic universe. She's been a WCW Women's Champion, a WWE Women's Champion. Right now, the man is trying to teach a little lesson to our current WWE Women's Champion, Ivy Nile. And what Becky said is right. Ivy's first choice was Shayna Baszler. it was Shayna Baszler who got pinned in that Women's War Games match by Charlotte Flair. So technically, wouldn't that make it Shayna Baszler's fault that Team WWE lost? It was a great match. The team from WCW just a little bit better. But we got to remember, Becky was the one woman on that team that was not selected by Ivy Nile. Becky earned her spot on the team by winning a battle royal to fill the final spot. Becky with the cover. Becky Lynch victorious here as Ivy gets her WWE Women's Championship back, and it's Nia Jax. We heard on Raw that The Rock not happy with two people in particular, one of them being Ivy Nile, the other being Seth freaking Rollins, and he said he would deal with them accordingly. I guess this is dealing with them accordingly as his cousin Nia Jax face to face with the champ. Now it's main event time. We're going to see our WWE United States Champion Braun Strowman. He will be in action this week against Logan Paul. And Strowman, a part of one of the traditional Survivor Series tag matches as well. His team, though, the team of himself, Seth freaking Rollins, Randy Orton, and Sheamus, coming up on the losing end of the team from WCW, which was Despicable Rey Mysterio, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Drew McIntyre. And Strowman dropping Logan Paul down to the mat. We've heard Paul complain in the past about not getting better opportunities here in the WWE. And he kind of feels that he would have been a better choice to represent WWE in one of the matches at Survivor Series as he eats a big boot by the big SOB. And now Paul fighting back. Look, Logan Paul has picked up some impressive victories here in the open mic universe as he delivers a clothesline to Strowman. Big splash off the top rope, hooks the leg, but only gets a count of 2. Strowman now trying to get back to his feet. Now Paul sitting Braun up, and Braun with an elbow to the midsection of Logan Paul and takes Paul back down. Logan Paul may have bitten off a little more than he can chew here. Strowman again with the cover. And only gets a 2. Slams Paul back into the mat, and Braun Strowman clearly in the driver's seat here. Running power slam, hooks the leg, and that may do it. And it will. Braun Strowman victorious here in our main event. And here comes Karrion Kross, jumps Strowman from behind, and now has Braun Strowman's United States Championship. And he wants Strowman back to his feet as he delivers a crushing blow with the United States Championship upside the champion's head.